Hello, my name is Anthony. I'm doing a moral ethics final thoughts presentation. Again, my name is Anthony Williams, Colorado Christian University, Personal and Social Ethics, Block 1. The biblical passages that I wanted to share today reflect my own personal view of Christian ethics. The first one I want to go over is Colossians 3:1 through 6. Since then you have been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things, for you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you will also appear with him in glory. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to you, to your earthly nature: sexual immorality, purity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. Because of these, the wrath of God is coming. All Scripture is God-breathed and is used for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. And Mark 12:30-31, love the Lord with all your God, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. With these three passages, I honestly believe that as we live in Christ, our ethics will be the same. We will have the same good ethical views as Christ, and therefore our ethics will be like his. And that's where I believe our Christian ethics come into play. Is to have good Christian ethics, we need to follow Christ. And so I put all these verses together to explain this purpose. We're also to do 3 ethical situations that we gained more info about and that felt good about. And first one was physician-assisted suicide. I completely disagree with it. I work at a hospital, and I know, and a hospice for that matter, and I know that comfort care is a lot better now. It's people are more comfortable, and there's no need for physician-assisted suicide. There's just no need for it, and any physician that does it, I believe, is murder, and it's just not useful to do that. I know it's hard because they ask you to personally do it, and they're in pain, but there's other ways. Comfort care is the way. So that is my belief system. Next up is capital punishment. A very big ethical issue in the world today. It's just due to the fact that that's again dealing with, I believe, murder. I spend a lot of time on not doing eye for an eye or tooth for a tooth or vengeance. I believe all this to be vengeance, not justice like people seem to think that it is. I don't believe so. I think you're taking out vengeance on this person. The family is, and the system is. I don't believe it's justice. I believe it's better if they spend a lifetime in prison trying to live up to their mistakes and make up to their mistakes. And they have time to make it up to God as well. And logically, not in a death cell, thinking, okay, they're going to die, so I better make it up with God. That's kind of fake. And you don't want that. So that's the next one on the list. And the last one I chose was self-defense and gun control. Gun control is various laws issuing background checks and advising you to carry concealed weapons permits for most states, not all. However, even with these gun control laws, more shootings are happening. Columbine, the Las Vegas, there's just so many to count. and it's unfortunate, but that's the way things are happening, and we need better gun control laws. Like, get rid of all the semi-automatic weapons on the streets. We don't need them. Don't need them. All you need is a good pistol to carry at home to keep you safe, or in the car to keep you safe. You don't need all that stuff. Like, people are getting tons and tons of weapons and taking them and doing all this bad stuff. It's just not useful. And so let's work on that. That's what I think should happen. And if you completely do gun control and take every gun off the street, how is everybody else going to defend themselves? That's where self-defense comes in. If we had more guns on the street for self-defense, maybe all these shootings would be stopped sooner. I did a case study, end-of-life care. This is a fake one. So Mr. Derek Pryor has been in the hospital for 2 days with his wife by his side. Both are Christian. They received news that the doctor had from his doctor that he had stage 4 lung cancer, inoperable, and nothing really left they can do, except there is a treatment that they can do which could prolong his life to a couple months, maybe a few more months, and it's going to be lots of more pain with it, but it's a slim chance. Mr. Pryor did accept his diagnosis beforehand and said that if he ever got to end stage, he did not want any further treatment, and the doctor remembered that, and even still he decided the same thing. His wife, however, wanted him to take the treatment. He's comfortable moving forward, not comfortable with doing the treatment, but he also loves his wife, and it's a hard thing. So the doctor asked me, the chaplain, to try to talk with the family. I remembered about Ray gives a model for us to follow of ethical decision making, which is based on gathering the facts, ethical issues, virtues, and principles, alternatives, compare alternatives with virtues and principles, considering the consequences, and then deciding. As a chaplain, I will go over everything and try to give as much information to the couple as possible. So the first thing I went over, I actually looked up a few things. These are 3 articles. I'm not going to read all 3, but one in particular is the middle one. Even though medical treatments have advanced technology, they hold no promises for recovery. They can sustain life with or without meaningful resistance, or with secondary support like feeding tubes, ventilators, etc. The thing about his condition is he's going to get worse regardless. The treatment may postpone the inevitable, but the thing is he will get worse regardless of the treatments, and he does not want to prolong that. His wife, however, wants him around a little bit longer. This is a very ethically challenged thing because we understand what she's feeling. However, we gotta go with what he wants, and what he wants is to die, basically, and comfortably, and he doesn't want to go through any more pain. So I gave them these 3 things here, and also went over some biblical passages that they may want to look at. I'll just go over them really quickly here. Philippians 1:21, for to me, to live as Christ is to die as gain. Christian believers, death is not an end, it's a new beginning. Psalm 48:14, it is the promise that Jesus will be with us all the way home to where we will be with him forever. Then you have 2 Corinthians 5:8. As Christians, it is more peaceful to be with the Lord than on earth enduring suffering. Romans 14:8. We live and die for the Lord and are his. We are living the borrowed life and therefore find comfort in knowing we are just going back home when we die. This is very important. Like when we die, we know as a Christian we are going home to the Lord. And that's where no pain, no suffering, none of that exists. We are perfectly in the loving arms of God, and we are no longer in that burden of earthly pain and suffering. I did write down Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. I am gentle and humble at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. The Lord gives us rest, and he will give the wife rest as well from her burden. He will bring her peace as well. His peace is for all. And that's the way to talk to a family and try to get them on board with what he would like to do, which is die in a peaceful way. War kind of got to me. I remember 9/11. It was shock and revenge. Like after 9/11, it was just revenge. Like go after that person, revenge, and it did not seem ethical to me as a ethical war. I did not think it was very ethical because of the vengeance that was behind it. It's kind of hard for me to think of a war as ethical. So Ray, writes throughout the Old Testament, Israel was commanded by God to go to war, which was to secure Israel using prevention as well as national defense. Some examples are Jeremiah 51:20, Joel 3:9, Isaiah 19:2. These are all examples of the Old Testament, which gives good examples of God's wars and what they were for, and very ethically so. And I wanted to make that observation. When you look at the New Testament, however, you got, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Put your sword back in its place. Do not take revenge. All of this coming up in the New Testament from Jesus is telling me that war is unethical, that you should be a peacemaker, not a war maker. And that is that's my conclusion right now, is where does the ethics come in? Where do they come out? Is it because revenge is unethical, yet justice is ethical? So where does justice begin and where does justice begin and vengeance end? Like, I think it's just somebody causes an issue, you go in to wipe them out. I think that's vengeance. If somebody is messing with somebody in their territory, and we go in there to help save these people, I think that's justice. So it depends on the thing. So lots of people say the war is ethical regardless. I don't think so. I believe it has to be decided in the long run of what is an ethical war and what's not. And so I need more information on this. As far as one example of a very unethical thing was World War II, where 2 nukes were dropped on Japan. I don't think that was very ethical. A bunch of citizens died. Citizens. And I don't believe that that was an ethical decision on our part to do that. It ended the war, however, but it was an awful decision. My references for my presentation. I hope you have a good day. Thank you for listening.